This is Big Trak, the computer-activated truck from MB Electronics. Program in up to 16 commands, and Big Trak will advance, turn, and fire 3 blasts. Big Trak follows its instructions and can maneuver around every obstacle to complete its mission. Program it, and Big Trak obeys.
Well done, Big Trak.
Big Trak from MB Electronics.
Welcome again to the Retro
Shed.
Yeah, and I don't think Crockett likes Big Trak very much, does he?
No.
No, I think we scared him.
We
Welcome to the Retro Shed. Today,
we're doing something a little bit different.
This is Josh's show.
This is my idea.
Yes.
Right.
Blame him if it all goes wrong.
You wrote the script. I decided that today we should be taking a look at some cherished of electronic toys, actually, because they are retro.
Toys.
This is the Retro Shed.
Sorry.
From the late 70s and early 80s. From a wonderful company called...
A wonderful company, actually, called Milton Bradley.
I was going to say, I forgot.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, some of my fondest memories, I've got to admit, from the 70s and 80s were toys and games made by MB. And we'll be taking a close look at 2 of our favourites from the late 70s, actually. Mm-hmm. The Starbird, the awesome Starbird, and Big Trak. Now... looking back at our childhoods, do you ever wish that you'd taken more care of an old cherished toy you had as a kid? You know, the ones that are now worth an absolute fortune.
Like my Thomas the Tank Engine train set.
We didn't rip that. We've still got that, haven't we?
No. Moving on.
Yeah.
I suppose I'm not old enough yet to feel that way, but
No.
I did feel like... But toys you had as a kid do seem to have a way of disappearing overnight without trace.
That's true, that is actually, yeah.
Do you think parents secretly chuck out the old toys? Or do they think, because they think kids no longer play with it? So, Dad, what toys do you wish you looked after better than you did?
Oh, God, there are dozens, Josh, to be honest with you. But if I think about toys that I had when I was a kid that I destroyed, ones that spring to mind
Destroyed?
Well, Dinky USS Enterprise, right? Worth a lot of money now in the
Destroyed?
box. Well, they got broken and they
say.
got binned. So the USS Enterprise by Dinky, the Klingon Warbird by Dinky, that the engines broke off that. In the bin it went. Oh, the Dinky Space 1999 Eagle Freighter. Now that does fetch a lot of money now. I wrecked it. I pulled it apart and I painted it. 8.
Barry!
And I wrecked it at Bandai. Did anyone remember Terrorhawks? Remember Terrorhawks? I had the Battlehawk model, right?
Yeah.
From Bandai, which is now extremely rare. I dropped it on the floor. It smashed. It went in the bin. Astro Wars. Do you remember Astro? Everyone remembers Astro Wars. It ran out of batteries one day. So do you know what I did? I plugged it into a Skye Electrics adapter. Pop! That was the end of Astro Wars. In the bin it went. Starbird, the original Starbird. I think I just broke it apart. I wanted to see how it worked, so I stripped it down to see how it works. Big Trak, that met its end at the top of the stairs. A programming error. Bang, 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 smash. Down the stairs it went. Trains, Skye Electric, you name it. Loads of stuff that I really didn't look after.
Now that will teach you to look after your stuff.
Yes. And hopefully that's a lesson learned by you, actually. Look after your things.
Yeah, I dropped my Lego Millennium Falcon down the stairs once.
I remember that, yeah, during the Olympic Games.
Bang, bang,
Smash. But that's Lego.
A million pieces.
That was Lego, so we could rebuild that and re-glue it, couldn't we, really?
So.
But, yeah, so.
Yes. So back in the 70s and 80s, there were a number of love toy companies, such as Ideal, Corgi. Corgi the dog? Like Corgi's in like...
Corgi made cars and little models and things.
Dinky, Fisher Price.
Fisher Price.
I love Fisher Price. Waddingtons.
Waddingtons.
It says Waddingtons.
Waddingtons.
Okay. But there was one company that just about everyone had one of their games or toys, and this was Milton Bradley or MB.
Everyone had something by MB. Incidentally, while you mentioned Ideal, do you remember, you don't remember, but do you remember the Evel Knievel stunt bike?
What? Evil Knievel?
Yeah, Evil Knievel Starbird. That was made by Ideal. It was an Evil Knievel figure that sat on a bike, and you revved him up, and he shot off down the garden and just broke stuff. He was brilliant. Anyway, I loved MB. They made so many toys from my childhood, such as Connect 4, Crossfire. Do you remember Crossfire? You'd murder each other by firing steel ball bearings at each other. I remember me and my mate detached the guns from the playboard and just shot each other with ball bearings. Downfall. Do you remember Downfall? We played that Christmas time in that cottage. The counters in the frame where you turn the white wheels and you said that Mum was cheating.
Oh, that!
Buckaroo.
Yes, that!
Frustration. Kaplunk. Battleships. Wonderful MB.
Frustration is such a frustrating game, believe it or not. But in the late 70s, a department called MB Electronics was formed, and they started to produce electronic toys such as Electronic Battleship, Merlin,
I remember
Simon, Starbird, and Big Trak. The last two we are looking at today.
That's right.
I like Simon, actually. It's like that memory of the
Simon was awesome.
That memory kind of
thing. That's right.
It reminds me of Bop It, doesn't it? It reminds me of Bop It.
Strangely enough, MB stroke Hasbro went on to make Bop It, same company.
Based on Simon?
Based on Simon, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, there you go, but you didn't know that. Did you also know that Milton Bradley was actually the name of the company founder in, guess what year?
Starbird, a product of space-age technology created by MB Electronics.
Stand by for final test.
Starbird sensors trigger microcircuitry to generate the matching sounds of climbing.
Level off. Descend. Fire laser guns. That does it. Thank you.
Starbird from MB Electronics. Give your child a look at tomorrow today. Command base and launching pad sold separately.
1860.
Seriously? That's been that old?
MB were founded in 1860 in the town of Springfield in Massachusetts.
The Simpsons!
I was going to say, where have you heard Springfield before? No, not the same Springfield as the Simpsons, strangely enough.
Oh my god.
But, what do you know about MB?
Wow. As you said, it was founded in 1860 by Milton Bradley, who started that by making board games,
He did,
actually.
yeah.
In 1861, when the US Civil War broke out, he stopped making games and started to make weaponry, actually.
I told you.
Not many
Crossfire.
Not many people knew that, but as he started boring soldiers... But as he noticed bored soldiers
The soldiers
in
were bored, weren't they? Because they had nothing to do,
he began to make small travel games, which the soldiers could take with them.
That was very nice
These
of
were
him.
games like chess, checkers, backgammon, and dominoes, and they sold for $1 each.
That was very nice of him, actually, to make games for the soldiers that were bored because they had nothing else better to do. And incidentally, the company struggled throughout these years, and eventually Milton Bradley did actually die sadly in 1911. The company changed hands numerous times during this time, and the company fell into decline in the 1920s and 30s during the Depression. Probably because people had better things to spend their money on than board games, and MB actually nearly went bust in the 30s and 40s.
Yeah. And MB struggled through World War II,
They did,
and it made it into the 60s, where they released a Game of Life and Twister.
Yeah.
And we know how much we love Twister, don't we, Dad?
I can't stand Twister. Do you know Twister scares me? It's a really scary game. I don't like it. There's something about Twister that deeply affects me. Anyway...
Anyway, moving on.
I don't like Twister. I can't stand Twister. Anyway, in the late 70s, electronic games were becoming more and more popular, and MB released Simon.
Simon sets the pace. You follow right along. Light the lights that Simon lights, or he'll tell you that you're wrong. Simon's a computer. Simon has a brain. You either do what Simon says, or else go down the drain.
Now,
yes.
And Pocket Simon, actually, which was incidentally too big to fit into your pocket because it was enormous. I've lost count of how many school trips I went on, and somebody brought Simon along. It was on every school trip. It was on every games day when the teachers used to say, "You can bring games and toys in tomorrow." Simon would just turn up. I think about 60 or 70 of them in a big crate. There you go, Simon everywhere. But I digress. By 1980, Simon was their best-selling item, MB games. Yeah.
In 1978, did you know that MB released Starbird, which was a plastic handheld spaceship with sound effects and flashing lights?
Yep.
This sold well until around 1980.
Yeah, that's right. They stopped it in 1981. 2 Starbird models were actually released. There was the Starbird Avenger, which is the same as that.
We have it here, actually.
We have got Starbird Avenger in the box, yeah. So there's the original
Are we
Starbird.
taking a look at that one as well?
We are.
Yeah.
There's the original Starbird, the Starbird Avenger, which has got slightly different stickers, and it had an infrared kind of sensor on the front that was supposed to be used for dogfighting. So it would kind of like make a noise when you hit a target, but it was crap. It really was bad. It was rubbish. It was just Starbird with a gimmick on the front of it, really, to be honest with you. Space toys were very, very popular in the late 70s and 80s, probably with the release of sci-fi films. Star Wars, Star Trek, Battlestar Galactica.
Star Wars! I love Star Wars!
So everyone was releasing space toys at this time. In 1979, MB released one of my favourite toys of all time.
Which was Thomas.
Which is not Thomas the Tank Engine, although I do like Thomas the Tank Engine.
So do I.
It was Big Trak, which is a futuristic, six-wheeled, sci-fi, programmable tank.
Oh, awesome.
Awesome. When I first saw it, I was like, oh my god, gotta have one of those. There was also a transporter release for it that you could plug into the back of the Big Trak and cart stuff around the living room. It was generally made to annoy dogs,
cats,
parents.
animals,
it was great.
furniture.
I was bought Starbird
Yeah.
for Christmas 1978 and I loved it. Incidentally, I made a complete pig's ear of putting the stickers onto it because it came with a sticker sheet and I was only about 7 or 8. Have you ever watched a 7 or 8-year-old try and put stickers carefully onto a model? It ain't happening. It isn't happening. 3 times I tried to do it and it was a right mess. The same thing with Big Trak. I had Big Trak for Christmas 1980.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Sticker sheet. Oh my god. I think I got the stickers everywhere except for on the Big Trak. They were stuck to me, they were stuck to the doors, they were stuck to the Christmas tree.
Stuck to the dog.
There was one on the telly.
There's one on the dog.
But there was not one on Big Trak. So there you go. Don't give little kids stickers to put onto models. It doesn't work.
In the early 80s, MB noticed that the new interest in video games and wanted a piece of the action and purchased CGE.
CGE, yeah.
Who had recently made the Vectrex. And that was launched in 1982, and by 1983 was a complete flop due to the game crash.
Yeah.
If you're interested in the Vectrex, look at our review of that system we did a few weeks ago,
looked
where
at the
Dad's
Vectrex.
like, I keep it in a glass case on the wall and I ruined his...
Yeah, the Vectrex
No
is
spoilers.
absolutely awesome.
No spoilers.
Well, MB could see that kids were kind of like more interested in video games and toys, and they thought, we need to release a video game.
Yeah.
So Vectrex was it, and it just happens to be probably the best retro, one of the best retro machines of all time.
Ever made, yeah.
In 1984, MB was brought by Hasbro. Sad? Not sad about that? I'm not sure.
He doesn't really rant on about Hasbro as much as he does EA, but...
I think Hasbro, one of those companies that have snapped up so many good brands over the years, and they've disappeared. I mean, more about that in a bit. So they bought MB in 1984. In 1991, Hasbro purchased Parker Brothers. Now, Parker Brothers made some great board games. They were MB's biggest rival, and they also released some fabulous cartridges.
Yeah,
for the Atari 2600. That's right. And in 1998, MB actually merged, the brand MB merged with Parker Brothers.
Yeah, to
and
become Hasbro Games.
Hasbro Games, and that pretty much was the end of MB and Parker Brothers as independent brands. It's pretty sad, really, because they were both brilliant game and toy makers of the 70s and 80s. Many of us have very fond memories of both companies, actually.
Imagine if, like, MB wasn't bought out by Hasbro. Do you think they'd still release even more cool stuff?
Probably, yeah, probably.
Hasbro also made the Nerf range.
Well, Hasbro have Nerf. They have Transformers.
Which is awful.
Transformers as a toy... Like, we're going off script here, but Transformers as a toy was a wonderful toy. When it came out, it was like early 80s. The Transformers were just amazing. Zoids by Bandai as well was very good. I think what's happened to Transformers... Okay, here we go. A Transformer, right? You could transform a Transformer as a kid in literally 60 seconds, okay?
Oh,
it was just...
Here we go.
And it was done.
Here we go.
Your Optimus Prime...
Which was like 50, 60
Right, your Optimus Prime Deluxe...
Yeah.
How much was that? 50, 60 pounds, right? It's a big model.
And
how long does it take to transform the big Optimus Prime?
Oh, it takes a good hour and a half.
It takes ages. And some of the cleverest people we know we've given this to and said, transform that. 45 minutes later, they're still sat there going...
And there's one leg sticking out the side,
Yeah.
one leg sticking out down here, and arms like this over the top of the head.
It's a good job it doesn't take the Transformers 45 minutes to transform, otherwise all battles would be lost. Don't mind me, I'm still transforming, says Optimus Prime, whilst everything else is kicking off. Megatron's wrecking the place, and Optimus Prime is busy transforming
Have you seen
himself.
the latest movie?
Oh, please, no.
It's awful.
No.
I saw it on a school trip.
No.
It was awful. I nearly fell asleep halfway through. There's no story to it
We've
or anything.
really gone off on one now, but I'm not going to talk about Transformers movies. I just
So?
think... No.
It's awful.
No.
Let's have a look at Starbird and the
Anyway.
Starbird Avenger, plus re-released Big Trak from Xeon in 2010.
Yeah, now, my original Big Trak got destroyed.
As you destroyed the original one.
My original Big Trak got destroyed. Big Trak was re-released in 2010 by a company called Xeon that bought the rights to Big Trak.
As you destroyed all your original
I
ones,
did.
didn't
My
you?
original Big Trak sadly met its end at the top of the stairs. But the new version is slightly different in the fact that the battery box layout's different. It uses a blue LED instead of a light bulb on the front of it. You know,
Yeah.
there's some subtle differences, but the original ones have long been destroyed. We've also got, we're lucky actually, we've got 2 Starbirds with
Yes.
all the pieces intact. See that little gun on top of Starbird there? That little gun
Oh, yeah.
always goes missing. All the little pieces goes missing. But we've got 2 complete ones that we'll be taking a look at.
How on earth does Big Trak know, like, how far it has to move? Like, if you press 3
Yeah,
and go,
yeah.
how does it, like...
How does it know how far
Yeah.
to move? Well, it's a good question, actually. It's all done with a little disc with holes in.
Wow.
Science bit coming up.
Oh, no.
No, it's good. It's good. It's good. So Big Trak, right, has a Texas Instruments programmable controller built into it. Now,
What?
when you say to Big Trak, Texas Instruments chip,
Oh, wow.
this is how Big Trak works. It's got 6 wheels.
Right.
2 wheels in the middle, either side, are the drive wheels. The other 4 are
The
just...
turning wheels.
Yeah, they're just free floating wheels. The 2 wheels in the middle are attached to a gearbox.
Right.
Inside that gearbox is 2 motors.
Right.
1 motor for the left-hand wheel, 1 motor for the right-hand wheel.
Right.
Okay? There is a disc inside the gearbox, like a round plastic disc
got
with holes in it. Right? An infrared sensor counts how many holes it sees.
Yeah.
So it like pulses. The computer in Big Trak knows, it counts the pulses and it knows how far Big Trak has moved. So if you say go forward 3 spaces,
It'll count 3 holes.
it won't count 3 holes, it'll count more than 3, but it knows how many spaces equal 1 length of Big Trak. So basically, to summarise, when you tell it to move,
Is it
counts.
3 of Big Trak?
Yeah, when you say to Big Trak, move forward 3 spaces,
Is that
it
like
moves forward.
1 Big Trak, 2 Big Trak, 3
Yeah,
Big
it
Traks?
moves forward.
Oh,
I think
that's
it's
how it measures.
33 centimetres. I think it moves forwards 33 centimetres. It counts how many pulses it sees on the wheel and it knows how far it's gone. Let's take a look at Starbird and a Big Trak. Yes. Right, we've unboxed our 2 Starbirds here, Josh.
Yay.
Just incidentally, this original Starbird here, we bought not so long ago, and believe it or not, it was in a sealed box. A sealed Spanish box. There you go, there's the box.
It's Spanish.
No, it's Spanish, as you can see. It was in a sealed cellophane box. We got this about a year ago, so I don't know where it's actually been all this time.
Probably in a loft.
Probably in a warehouse. It was new old stock. And as you can see, it is absolutely immaculate.
Yep, it's brand new.
It was brand new, never opened, so we thought, shall we keep it in the cellophane or shall we open it up? So we thought, no, we're going to open it up because toys deserve to be played with. So here's the original Starbird design. As you can see, we've got still got the gun turret that's always, well, often missing. Instructions are in Spanish. Sticker sheet, I didn't have too much trouble with this time, strangely enough. So,
He used
yes.
tweezers and like high definition tools.
Yeah, we use tweezers to put the stickers on. So as you can see, here's the Starbird. It's got guns at the front. In fact, if we put the 2 of them side by side, this is the Starbird,
The one that's red is the Avenger.
the Avenger. This is the one that came out.
Plain is the normal.
Yeah, this is the one that came out a bit later. There's the box for the Starbird Avenger. There's both of them side by side. Different stickers on it, Josh.
Yeah.
And on the front,
It's like a bird kind of wing thing.
yeah, on the front you can see it's got a different gun configuration. It's got infrared sensors on it, which detect when it's actually shot something. Which is not bad. So as you can see, the deck of the stickers are quite different on both of these, but it's essentially the same toy. This one, black plastic on that one, grey plastic on that one.
What are they? What are these things?
Well, if you take those off, these are wing interceptors.
Oh, cool.
And they're supposed to detach and fly off or something like that, which is quite cool. One thing that I never understood about Starbird,
What's that?
the scale of the ship. So if you have a look at the
scale?
yeah, if you look at that interceptor,
Yeah.
right, and you look at that turret,
Yeah.
they're pretty much the same scale.
Are they?
Okay, so you could imagine somebody sat in there or sat in there about the size of a large ant. Then you have the cockpit, which is a bit off scale.
Is that size of the US Enterprise?
I've never understood how big this ship is meant to be. Is it something that's meant to be the size of an X-Wing? Is it meant to be something an awful lot bigger? I don't know. Anyway, that's the target. That's a cardboard target that came with the Avenger, and you point the front of the craft at it and press the fire button, which is there, and it detects whether you've hit it or not. So, right, Josh, do you want to give us a demo?
Headphone users beware.
Yeah, this is quite loud, actually.
3, 2, 1.
It's an awful racket. I'll back off from it a bit, I think. Let's compare it to this one. That's better. There's a bit of a rest for my ears there. So let's turn this one on. Well, I like that. Do you know what? That one sounds awesome, actually. It's a deeper sound, isn't it? Fire it. Very cool, isn't it? Yeah. Now, one of the play features of Starbird is that you can actually detach the engine from the back, detach the engine, and you can connect it directly to the cockpit, and it was supposed to form some kind of...
Like little...
Yeah, it was supposed to give you more play options and meant to be...
Kind of like an escape pod.
Yeah, it's quite detailed, that engine moulding, actually, isn't it? There's an awful lot of detail on there. And you could bolt that straight to the back, and it detached from the main body. And also, I think the cockpit shield comes off as well.
Ready for this?
Yeah.
Oh, God, no,
Take the cockpit shield off. That's it. And you had... That was supposed to be, I don't know, some very, very sleek and fast ship. That's supposed to be the cockpit in there. So if you look at that, if you look at the cockpit detail, it gives you a sense of how big the bloke is, which bears no relation to those pieces there. Shall we have a quick look around the back? There's an awful lot of detail on this, and I think that module there in the middle is supposed to be, I think in the instructions it said it was a life support module.
Yeah.
So that is the awesome Starbird. I love this toy.
Yes.
I still do, actually.
So do I.
Brilliant. And if you can get hold of one that's still complete, that's got all the pieces, yeah, look after it. Don't do what I did, smashed it apart and lost all the pieces, which I think most kids tend to do. Okay, this is
the Big Trak.
The Big Trak, which is absolutely awesome. Did you know, actually, the United States version was grey?
Yeah.
And the UK version was white. So the body of Big Trak was grey in the United States.
Right.
And it had a slightly different looking keypad on the back.
I think white would look better, to be fair.
Here's Big Trak, and as you can see, it's a 6-wheeled, futuristic tank. Oh, it's awesome. I love Big Trak. So this version is actually made by Xeon. You can tell that because it's got a sticker on the side that says ZT. It used to say, the original said MB. Yeah. It's got a blue LED in it. Those two things on the front were supposed to be the hatches where people got in and out.
Right.
Now on the original version, that round hatch on the top, that thing used to come off and there was a 9-volt battery underneath there, but this version doesn't need that 9-volt battery. That battery used to power the computer It doesn't need it anymore. They've redesigned the internals, I think, a bit. Yeah. That's the port on the top where the transporter used to plug in.
You switch that round like
Open
that,
up
and
and you
that
plug
little
into
hole
there,
where that
yeah.
thing would go in.
Let's have a look at the controller there. So there's your keypad on the top, which gives you your forward, back, left, right. You can fire the lasers. You've got a pause button.
That's laser, by the way.
Yeah, that's your laser.
I never know what that is. Is that
that's
the pause
pause.
button?
Yeah, if you press P into your program,
yeah.
it pauses it for about.
Oh, then you click a button like two
yeah.
2 seconds.
Yeah. The out button, tip the transporter out. The tick button, that was check. I can't remember what you did with that, to be honest with you. ×2 just doubled up on your last command. And let's have a look at the wheels. Slightly different design from the original. Battery box is different. So the 2 wheels in the middle, do you want to give those a turn, are connected to the gearbox. So those are the drive wheels, those 2. And the other 4 are just floating wheels. They don't do anything. So all the turning and the traction is done by the middle 2 wheels. Programming course. So if we tell it to go forwards 1 and then back 1, what should that do? That should make it go 1 length forward, 1 length back, shouldn't it? Go. Wonderful. Okay, nice and easy. Right, let's do a turn demo. Can you get it to do a 360-degree turn?
Yes.
So what's the command for that?
That one or that one? 66.
Yeah.
It's always 66. Go.
Cool. Okay, so get it to go forward, do a complete turn, come back and do a complete turn so it's facing the direction it's in now.
Got it.
So tell us what the commands are.
Forward 3.
Yeah.
You want to do it forward and then go backwards, reverse?
No, come back forwards and then turn around facing the other way.
Got it. So we want to do about 33. Forwards 3.
Yeah.
Spin. A full turn.
As long as it's facing the other way. 33
So you want to do
again.
it half again.
Yeah.
Do you want to shoot?
Can do. Why not?
If my program's good, that will work. Turn around. Come back. Yes, working, it's working. Turn around. Now shoot. Yes, did it!
Absolutely awesome.
Yeah, he did it.
Right, so here's a challenge for Josh. I've asked him
Yeah.
if he can program Big Trak to move in a complete square with sides of the square 2 lengths of Big Trak. Nice and easy. Go.
Shut up. 2. So half turn is 33.
I'm not saying
Fourth
anything.
Turn's about 16. That'll turn it that way. Forwards 2. 16. Forwards 2. Wait, and then that way. 16. Forwards 2. And then.
Ooh, not bad.
No!
Oh, failure.
Oh no!
So, forward 2, left 16, 15, 16 is it? Forward 2, left 15 or 16, forward 2, left forward 15 or 16, forward 2, left 15 or 16, fire 3 and stop. Let's have a look. Have we got it right this time?
Looking good. Always looking good. Yay!
And that is how you program Big Trak. So there you
So-
go. That was Starbird
They're
and Big
epic.
Trak, and they are epic toys. What do you think of them, Josh?
They're awesome!
For
I
the
love
time.
them! They're epic! Kind of like, when you tilt Starbird up, it recognises... Are they gyros that does that?
No, there's a switch inside Starbird, and it's a ball bearing that sits
Yes.
inside a little
So when
plastic
it
box.
turns, does it
when you tip Starbird up,
Yeah.
the ball bearing switches the contacts to make the soundboard know that you've tipped it up. When you tip it down,
Oh, that's awesome.
it is absolutely brilliant. Usually these things were done by mercury switches, but mercury is a bit dangerous to put into a kid's toy, so they used a ball bearing instead, which was very clever, actually.
Epic.
Right, thank you for watching that. Thank you very much to subscribing to our channel as well.
Yep.
We really do appreciate our subscribers, and if you have any comments or any questions, or if there's anything you'd like us to cover
Yep.
in future episodes, please let us know. You can find us
So,
on Facebook
And?
/ The Retro Shed.
and
what?
Izzy's joining us next video.
Oh yes, next video we're going to be looking at probably what is most people's favourite video game of all time. It's a very, very high... I think it's something like number 8
in the
in
world.
the IGN Top 100 video games of all time. And that is...
Thomas the Tank Engine.
not Thomas the Tank Engine. And it's not on Amstrad either. It's The Legend of Zelda, the Ocarina of Time on the N64, which happens to be, I think, one of the greatest video games
And Izzy's favourite game.
ever made. And Izzy's a bit of an expert in Zelda.
A little bit. Imagine me going head to head on Izzy on Zelda. I'd thrash her.
Yeah, right. Can I just clear one thing up now? You're not going to get annoyed or angry.
I didn't get annoyed or angry in the last episode either.
You lie like a cheap watch.
No, I didn't.
You got really, really
No, I didn't.
moody and
no,
upset
no,
because you got it handed to you on a plate.
No, I didn't.
playing Dead or
no,
Alive.
You liar.
So I want you to behave yourself next week and realise that Isabel is probably a lot better than
she's
Zelda
not.
than you. See what I mean? This is what I have to deal with. This is what I've got to put up with.
No, you don't.
You should see some of our outtakes. No, you don't want to see some of our outtakes, actually. Especially last week's outtake. Cut. Anyway,
What happened in last week's outtake? What happened?
I just threw a patty, didn't I? Went mad because the screen wasn't working. Anyway, a piece of news. I was messaged by Dean Hedger this week of Press Start to Play. Hello, Dean. How you doing?
Hi, Dean.
Who said, "Are you guys coming up to Play Expo in Manchester?" And I was like, "No, we'd not considered that." So after a bit of digging and hunting around and looking for tickets, we will be now going to
Manchester.
Manchester.
To Trafford Park.
It's not Trafford Park. It's nowhere near Trafford Park, I don't think.
Is it not?
No. We're going to Play Expo in Manchester October the 15th, I think. It's either the 14th
Why is
or the
everything
15th.
in October?
I know, there's a lot going on in October. October is going to be very busy.
Yeah.
We're in Manchester on... It's either October the 14th or the 15th. We're there on a
Yeah.
Saturday, so we get to meet Dean and a host of other people. That'd be great. We're really looking
be
forward to that.
epic.
That is going to be a brilliant show, and we are looking forward to that.
Right, we're going to be filming there.
And we might do a bit of filming, we'll see.
Cool.
And the weekend after, we're at the Kapow Retro Station.
Seriously, that's
So
gonna
we've
be a
got
busy
a
week.
busy October of gaming and events, so we're really
Indeed.
looking forward to that. So
So,
that pretty much wraps things up for today.
yep.
It's a bank holiday weekend, the sun is shining, and we've got things to do, so
Yes.
I've got to put a light up and some
I've got to play
gardening.
some Rocket League. I've
Yeah.
got to do some stuff.
Let's go and do some stuff. See you
Yeah.
guys soon. Take
Bye.
care, and we'll catch you soon. Bye.
Don't.
You should see some of our outtakes. No, you don't want to see some of our outtakes, actually. Especially last week's outtake. Cut. Anyway,
What happened in last week's outtake? What happened?
I just threw a patty, didn't I? Went mad because the screen wasn't working.